What's up, y'all? It's Winston from Into the Fog. I'm going to be taking you guys through my rig today and how I get my live sound. The first step to all of it even being possible is our in-ear monitoring system. We'll do a video on that soon, but I use the Shure 425s with the yellow foam tip. That's my secret.
Where should we start off? You want to talk about this mandolin here?
So this is my number one mandolin that I take on the road with me. This is a Northfield Big Mon, roughly 2010 model. I've had it for a couple years now. Her name is Valerie. I use a ToneSlabs Tweener mini round with holes. With holes, that's the big key there. Of all the tone things, the holes is where it really comes from. And D'Addario Monel strings, EJM 74s. Full disclosure, we are sponsored by ToneSlabs, D'Addario strings, and LR bags, preamps.
Hashtag ad.
All right, so we'll just kick it off with the signal chain. I got a K&K pickup, and it goes straight into the classic Boss Chromatic.
That's big for your tone, right?
Yeah, it is. It provides the buffer. I actually don't even use the tuner on it because it just doesn't really register it that well. Use that D'Addario clip-on tuner.
So it's a chromatic mute.
It's a chromatic muter, yes, and it does a great job. Straight out of the chromatic tuner into MXR bass envelope filter, out of the envelope filter into the Wampler mini ego compressor. That is the only always on pedal. Out of the compressor into the Electro-Harmonix Badstone phase shifter. Out of the phase shifter into the Electro-Harmonix Operation Overlord Allied Overdrive. Say that 5 times really fast. Operation Overlord Allied Overdrive. Out of the overdrive into the Boss MD200 multi-effects. That's where I get a lot of my really weird sounds. This is a Boss equalizer pedal that I have modded to a Boss louder pedal, actually. Going out of the louder into a TC Electronics Nova Delay ND1. This is a discontinued pedal. Out of the delay into probably the most unnecessarily overkill pedal on the board, which is the Walrus Audio Slötva. Reverb, I hardly ever use it. Super trippy sounding ambient reverbs, way more than what I need for this, but it has switchable presets. And when you're on the fly in a band like ours and need a lot of different sounds very quickly, there's just no time to bend over. And last but not least, coming out of the Slötva into the classic LR Bags Pair Acoustic DI. Nothing too special here, just a preamp, does its job. It's sort of the Honda Civic of my board, if I had to give it a automobile-esque metaphor. So that's basically the signal chain. Right on. Full disclosure, there's an SM57 under this desk. We will be turning it off after this. You will be hearing DI only signal after that.
Right on. Well, let's get into these pedals here. You said the first one is your muter.
Yep. That is a Boss TU3 muter.
Right. We're not too worried about the tuner on there because you say you use your clip-on. Is that what you're talking about?
This is a D'Addario clip-on tuner here. I like them because they're nice and low profile and very accurate.
And next in your chain is the MXR bass envelope filter. Is this the one that I had first?
This is actually your old bass envelope filter that I believe I either bought from you or traded or something. So one thing I've found with the envelope filters is that, well, really the whole pedal world, none of these pedals are made for a mandolin. So some of them just straight up don't work. The frequency range on all the other envelope filters couldn't find the mandolin. I don't know, it wouldn't womp. No matter how much I turned the knobs, it would not womp. Yeah, actually, shout out to Will from Secret Hollow. I stole that from his YouTube mandolin pedalboard video. So one thing that is big for me on any pedal possible is a dry-wet blend. We're still an acoustic band, so I do like to have some of the dry signal come through. I use it mostly in a funky type sound. but I do have the sensitivity set that I can do some type sounds, but generally I use it in a funky wah-wah pedal type.
Right, to try to get that kind of like Minneapolis guitar kind of like slap.
Yeah.
Like Nile Rodgers kind of funky thing.
As long as you put the swing in the right place, you know what I mean?
Right. So do you use this bass envelope filter on any of the songs on the Live from 5 Points Into the Fog?
I believe it is on the very beginning of Dawn, and what I do with that, to jump ahead a little bit, I throw it on with this reverse delay, and I get this nice like type sound.
Right on. Yeah, let's move on to this Ego Wampler.
Yeah, so I don't really know what this one does. It just makes it sound more gooder. Here it is without it. Here it is with it on. Just feels smoother.
Yeah, it just kind of adds that like studio polish, and it kind of like squishes the top and the bottom of the peaks just enough to kind of keep it in a manageable dynamic range for like the sound guy, or like our in-ear monitor rig, which is straight into our ears, so you can kind of have a little bit more control of over the piezo that's right there.
The big thing is the blend knob right there. If every pedal company in the world could begin to just put a blend knob on there, please.
Yeah, that's huge for acoustic instruments and trying to keep your tone, somewhat how it actually is on your instrument. All right, moving on from the Ego Wampler. What's next in your signal chain here?
This is a classic. This is a Electro-Harmonix Badstone phase shifter. It's essentially the small stone phase shifter, but it has this manual shift knob. So I use it for just kind of a type noise. I hope that translated. It has a manual shift, so if you like anywhere in the sound, stay there. It no longer swirls. So if you just like some of that frequency range, you can use the manual knob. I don't use it for that though. I keep it about right there, and I can kind of, paired with some overdrive, type thing. Anytime we're in a big jam, if I'm playing rhythm, towards the end of it, I'll kick that on. That's kind of a swirly, make all the hippies happy type sound.
Right.
I have a lot of Electro-Harmonix pedals. I should really call them. This is the Electro-Harmonix Operation Overlord Allied Overdrive. Kind of just a basic overdrive. What I really like about it is, of course, the blend knob, the dry. I've tried a lot of overdrives with Mandolin, and none of them really work all that well. I found this one to be the best. It has a dry knob, and also has a lot of EQ options. So there's still a little bit of clean Mandolin in there with it. All the way off would be just like not really the sound I'm going for. So we keep that blend about right there. Still get a little Mandolin. I use that in a rhythm situation when we're in a big jam. Also use it on leads. I have the volume set where I can still kick the boost on and kind of type thing.
That's the pedal you're always fighting the sound guy with, right?
Yeah, it's typically that combined with the boost, combined with the delay.
Okay, so you're hitting all three of those, and that's where you get the whoo.
Yeah.
And you kind of gotta, hold your mandolin up as like a signal, and you're like, please fix this sound guy.
Yeah, that's kind of like if he wants me to make it do the worst thing possible for him, I do that.
Yeah, it's kind of how you filter out the good or bad sound guys.
Yeah.
Sometimes like you turn them all on, there's never a problem.
Mm-hmm. This also has an additional boost that is before the overdrive, so it doesn't actually get any louder. It just provides additional gain before. I don't use it a whole lot. It gets kind of too crunchy, but add some fuzz to it.
Yeah, it's basically a fuzz now. That's crazy.
Yeah. It kind of gets out of mandolin territory when I do that, though, so... Yeah, if I had a speaker nearby right now, it would probably be going... It also, another cool thing, input level. So since this is a passive piezo pickup, not a whole lot of juice coming in, and you can actually sort of crank it with this switch. If you had an electric guitar with humbuckers, you could slap that guy down to low, and you get a little more range on your stuff. Another tip while we're there, if you have a lot of knobs that might move around in your case, I put little pencil marks on here where all my knobs need to go, so I can kind of look at it real quick and tell if something got moved or not.
Right on. What's next in the chain? You said it was the...
This is the Boss MD200, based off of the MD500, but smaller.
This is the one that you turn it on and I'm like, what the heck just happened, right? Yeah, this is that one.
This is kind of, there's a lot going on in here. A few things I like about it. It has, you can scroll through the presets with your feet, which is nice to be able to do. The first one, I got like a pitch thing. Type thing, little Hammond organ kind of situation. Basically never use that, but it's preset 1 because that makes the most sense, right? Preset 2 is a faster phase shifter. And I will typically use that in like I'm shredding, you know. And I'll kick on like a, and then I start like, it's kind of a
yeah. Which is the one at the end of Trudy, or the one you use for the little keyboard sound?
That's the first one.
That's number 1.
Yeah.
You said you hardly ever use it. Is that like the only situation?
That's literally the only song I've ever used it on. That one I need to just delete, but I haven't yet because then all my numbers are going to be off in my head. So that's like an auto wah. Never use it. This one I would like to use, but I've never been able to quite hone it in. This is a rotary with distortion.
I kind of want you to just talk into the mandolin.
This is a rotary with distortion. But as you can hear, there's no dry blend in there, so it's kind of not a mandolin anymore. This one is the tremolo. I've been using this on Money recently on the intro. I do a nice kind of thing.
That's a classic Boss sound right here, I feel like, isn't it?
Yeah. So this pedal, you can set it to, you scroll through them with this button, or you can hold it, and then you can do tap stuff. I don't ever really have enough time to do that, but the tremolo is just kind of set at a nice, like, average tempo. I don't actually set it, like, for a song, you know what I mean? This is chorus. I don't ever use this, but nice detune. One day, if I have time, I'd like to throw that into a solo when we're, you know, at a real screwed up part.
So just being completely honest, how often do you actually use this in, like, a live show?
To be honest with you, I use that a lot. Everything else, hardly ever.
Right, so you could just have a phaser.
I could.
But it's a lot of fun.
It is.
And it works on mandolin, which is crazy.
Yeah,
Maybe that's what the MD stands for.
Yeah, mandolin. Yep. There's a lot of parameter knobs, like dry blends and stuff. Here's the real fun. This is the best part of the whole video, okay? I never actually do this live a whole lot because I just don't get to, but these are my freak everybody out in the crowd noises, okay? Not really too musical. I don't even know what they started out as, but
that's the one I was talking about. That turns my head, and I'm like, what the heck?
Oh no, it gets better though. We got this guy. Yeah, super musical.
Yeah, we're getting to the depths of the mandolin pedal board iceberg now.
And then there's two more. There's this guy. You know, super musical.
Take me to your leader type shit.
Yeah. All right, this is my new favorite though. This one is, I use this exclusively when we play Jellyfish. This is the best one. It's some type of flanger, but one night when I was feeling really good, I made this. Kind of makes you feel like you did nitrous or something.
I was hitching with the thumb, drinking the rum, hitching with the thumb and drinking some rum.
And that's the fun pedal. It's the most fun. I use it the least because I don't have any fun doing this.
Right, that one's great. I don't know if we can top that. I think next might be the most important one though.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. This one gets used the most out of any pedal on here. This is the Boss GE7 louder pedal, as you see.
What does that do exactly?
Believe it or not, Derek, it actually makes it louder when I hit it. But not just louder, you know, the younger guy in me would have just gone for a boost pedal, but the adult in me needed a very specific EQ for when it gets louder. I cannot disclose to you my exact EQ settings, but I assure you, you will hear the difference.
Having the boost after all these effects is crucial to keeping all of those in check, especially with the mandolin, right?
Yeah, it kind of... the way I have everything laid out is the ones that I use the most are also on the front, so I'm not like tapping away up here with my toes. But yeah, I like this one after everything because it sort of changes the gain structure. Like if I were to put this before the overdrive, it would get crunchier, and I kind of want everything to stay the same, but just get a little
louder, right? Essentially like the sound guy pushing the fader up so that he has to do less work.
Yep, exactly. Should I reveal my EQ settings?
Yeah, reveal them, and then we can blur it just to like frustrate people even more.
Okay, all right.
Don't ruin your settings.
Oh, no. So, you know, you see what I got going on there?
I see that.
Yeah.
Floyd's trying to get a peek of it right now so that he can copy your EQ settings.
So what happens, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen out there on the road, you find the perfect sound, and you don't ever want to lose it, and it's so finicky. You just put a piece of tape on there.
Right. I like to talk about like how there's tone pedals and how there's effects pedals.
Right.
And like we would say like the louder is definitely a tone pedal, and like the ego Wampler would be like a tone because you always leave it on. You know, the mute pedal obviously is for tone.
Yeah.
It's crucial.
So it's like it's a hair louder, but really it just does some EQ things. Little more mid-rangey. It's probably like the most adult pedal I've ever bought. You know what I mean? It's no fun, you know?
It's the socks of pedals.
Yeah. It's like the Dodge Grand Caravan.
It's like the white rice of pedals.
Yeah. Okay.
You know?
Grilled cheese sandwich.
It's it's just louder, you know?
Right.
I used to look down and I would be like, equalizer, what am I gonna do with that? But when I look down and I see louder, and I'm like, you know, if I ever find myself in a situation where I'm like, I need to be louder.
Right.
There you go. You hit that and you're louder.
Yeah, equalizer, that's just too many syllables for you to make that decision in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, just louder. But I didn't want it to be just loud. I wanted it to be louder, you know?
Maybe a loudest pedal next. We'll call Boss. We'll talk to them about the loudest.
Yeah. Special shout out. A lot of these cables are 3 Monkeys solderless cables. Some good friends of ours here in Raleigh. They used to make a lot of guitar amps. I think they still do a little bit, but they make these fine solderless cables. You can cut them to length. No soldering needed. These cables have been in here for 4 or 5 years now. Never had any problems with them. Shout out 3 Monkeys. We come out of the louder pedal into the TC Electronix ND1 Nova Delay. I did a lot of shopping before I bought this pedal. I wanted a delay pedal that had a tap, tempo, and that I could scroll through the presets without having to do it with my hand. Pedal companies, it does no good for me to be able to scroll through the effects with my fingers. My fingers are busy. I need to be able to do it with my feet. With my feet. Oh, but you can just push away. It doesn't do me any good. I'm shredding right now. I can't stop shredding to change my delay channel. So anyways, shout out TC Electronics. I'm not sure why they quit making it, but tons of good parameters here. But I've got 5 delay settings that I use. I use 1, 3, and 5 a fair amount. So 1 is just a quarter note thing. Tap me a little tempo. Nothing special.
Does that one ever get you in trouble with the sound guy alone?
Yeah, no. See, it's not boosted right now. If I was in a solo, it would be boosted too. So
right.
Like,
that's kind of when you get into trouble.
yeah, but that's when the fun happens, though. So, like,
Sometimes you want that little bit of whoo.
yeah, you can't have too much trouble without getting into fun, you know what I mean? Cool thing about this pedal, you can scroll with your feet. I'm gonna go to 2. This is like a dotted 8 situation. Let's give it a little overdrive. Yeah, shout out to Connor for teaching me how to do that. Yeah, Connor. The one I use the most frequently, this is my real secret. I debated on not even revealing this to the people, but this is my reverse delay. Completely wet. There's no dry signal coming through. This is where I get a lot of my creepy sounds. Throw that harmonic minor in there.
Yeah, that's a creepy intro city right there. You can. Oh yeah, it goes for a couple seconds.
Yeah, with the envelope filter too.
Like turn it off and it still goes.
So it has trails on different channels. I think I have it turned off for that one because you guys are usually like, stop, we're trying to start the song, you know what I mean?
You can kind of mayday out if you need to.
But I think on one of them I have trails.
You got trails set.
Oh, maybe not. There you go. So it does have trails option. I, in a perfect world, would love to have trails on all the channels, but sometimes we're like at the end of a song and like downbeat stop. I don't want to be that guy.
Right.
Like, wah, wah, wah.
Yeah. What songs do you use that on?
Typically on Dawn, EMD, just dropped in. Anything where we're going, the beginning of a set, we're going for that real dark minor thing. That's just kind of the vibe, I think minor key gets a bad rap for being like dark and sad and moody, but like that's kind of a vibe for some people.
Yeah, man. You sing about happy stuff to a minor key.
Dude.
Sing about sad stuff to a major key.
Yeah.
That's the trick.
Yeah. Let's see. We got preset 4. I don't know what it is. I made it a long time ago, but my little handy dandy key that I wrote here has a smiley face. So what does that sound like to you? It says it's some sort of triplet 8th thing.
Yeah, it's like a really long slap.
I don't know. I never use it, but it's a smiley face.
And how would you maybe set this differently if you were to like use this on a guitar?
There is one cool thing about this pedal. I don't remember how to do it. It's in the manual, but you can set the input sensitivity similar to this input level. So I have this set for like a higher or a lower input sensitivity.
Right, for this pickup right here. Gotcha.
And it also has a one of the things that so this delay line, if that was dynamic, it has a thing where it sort of squashes the echo when you're playing another dry note. Right. I don't like that. I like just for it to be what it is. And the final sound I have is a slapback. I use this on if we're doing Pink Floyd Time, and we do the Gives it like a little bit more body.
Nice.
That's all for that guy though. Oh, I have a 6. What is 6? Hang on. Secret.
Uh-oh. Something secret?
Oh yeah, that's my new, it's a reverse reverse thing, but it has some dry. So I can like... The echoes have a reverse thing going on. Yeah, that's kind of the, if I had to take everything off of here, I would probably keep these two. If I had to make like a fly rig or something,
right.
I would probably, got to be able to get louder, and you got to have some delay. It's kind of, this is probably the most mandolin friendly effect pedal.
Right, so moving on from the TC Electronic, is this the last one in your effects chain right over here?
Yeah, before we get to the preamp, this is by far the most overkill, underutilized pedal on the board. I used to have a reverb pedal that I kept always on, and then you asked that I not do that, as it was sort of...
Yeah, generally sound guys want to add their own reverb, and especially if we're mixing it in post, which we do a lot of. We don't do soundboards essentially. We do multi-track mixes and I mix it in post. So for like studio recordings, you definitely want full versatility in your reverbs.
Yeah, so I have a little reverb that I turn on in my ears with our PA, but it's not baked in, as we like to say around here. The recording is still a completely raw signal. I have 3 presets on here. I love the pedals that you can go through things with your feet, because I ain't got time to be using my hands and my fingers. The first one, which is the red light, is just kind of a subtle, well, it's not that subtle, but it's more subtle than the rest of them. If we're in like a real quiet, spacey setting at the beginning of a big lead I'm building up, I'll throw that on. If I want to hit them with that, you know. So that's that one. This is the green light. I do them in order of red light, green light, blue light. You push both those buttons to go through. This one is very much more ambient. And there's some like
shimmer.
Yeah, some shimmering, pitch shifting things going on. Kind of a warble.
Yeah, it's almost like a tape warble. Sounds like a little bit of a vintage kind of thing. It's like a tape echo.
Yeah. Right before it dies out, you hear that kind of like... And then the last one, this was completely overkill and I hardly ever get to use it. Very freaky.
Sounds like that one's kind of doing the same tape decay thing.
Yeah.
But it's got like a filter on it
Yeah.
or something. Like a
so there's
modulation.
sine, warp, and sync, and that's the 3 different types of modulation that happen to the reverb. Again, it's way more of an ambient pedal than I actually need, but it's so hard to find a reverb pedal on the market that has scrollable presets.
Right.
There's ones that have presets, but you have to bend over and do it, and I don't have time for that. One cool thing I have on here that I have only ever used once, it has a latch. So if you like...
Is that something happened on accident the other night? Is that what happened?
Yeah. And one thing
Mayday!
one day when I have more money, I'll have a bigger board and things will be more spread out. Getting to this with my toe is a little bit, even with these buttons,
Yeah.
can be a little tricky. That's like the one pedal I have a little trouble getting to with my foot. But I'm sort of out of real estate right now, so.
Right on, that's a fun pedal.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here that I haven't played with much. There's a filter knob in here, which is like a high cut. And then you can tell it's a really ambient pedal when the Usually mix is like 12 o'clock for straight. This is actually at like 3 o'clock. Like they want you to be ambient. Like it's
right.
It's very much a like shoegaze pedal.
Yeah.
I'm not using it for that so much. Great pedal though.
It sounds great on the mandolin.
Yeah. And then we go into the classic LR Bags Acoustic DI preamp. What does a preamp do, Derek?
It makes things louder.
That's what that one does.
Yeah, but this one has a pedal on it.
Ah.
This one has knobs.
This one's just permanently louder.
It's permanently just always louder.
Okay. And what is this little doohickey?
This is how you send your signal out to your friends, such as sound guys or the rest of your band, or even yourself.
Yeah.
Do you ever use your 1/4-inch outs?
No, but if you wanted to like run to an amp or something, you could. Got a phase inverter. It has an FX loop. I've never needed it. A lot of people on the internet say that you should go to the preamp first and then FX loop out for passive pickups because there's not much gain. But I mean, you tell me. You know, I don't think I need it.
It's one of those one cable FX loops where you got to make sure you have the right cable.
Yeah, the TRS situation.
Yeah, on the road it's kind of risky to run with something like that because you might not be able to replace it as easily as just a couple 1/4 inches.
Should we show them how terrible the tone is with this thing flattened out?
Oh please.
Okay. All right.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin your settings.
No. I have pencil marks on here, Derek. I can put it all back to the way it was.
Wow.
Matter of fact, why don't you do it? Because I can't quite reach it.
Just 12 o'clock noon?
It's 12 o'clock on everything. It's about to be bad, people. It's about to be.
This is a lot of knob turning I'm doing just to flatten this out. This is a bit of work you did. What about these guys?
Don't touch those.
Okay. We're flattened out noon.
So this is it now. Very boxy. Very like what word would you use to describe that? Other than just like bad. Boomy. Yeah, the main thing is I notched the mids almost all the way out. This is she's got a lot of booty.
But that probably helps with the feedback too. So if you had this flattened out, the sound guys would probably have a lot more trouble trying to get you straightened out.
Yeah, if you're in this world, you want to make things as easy as possible for the sound guy.
Can you play and I'll put them back in real time?
Yeah.
You can listen to it like magically going back.
Yeah, that was like when you did that. That was. Ugh. Should we turn them all on at one time?
I would love to.
Okay.
Oh, it already sounds great. Bill Monroe would never. Right on, man. This pedal board is mighty fine.
Thanks, man. You know, some things I would like to do in the future is get a clip-on mic, a Grace Design Felix. That's the main upgrade. I'm pretty happy with all the effects. I think just the clean sound could still get a little bit better. It's never going to be as good as a microphone. I hear you complaining out there all this time he's been plugged in. He needs to just play into a microphone. I get that. If you ever tried to play at Jimmy's in Wrightsville Beach into a microphone, does not work. We all know that's the way to go and it sounds the best. I agree with you. Stop whining. I'm doing the best I can here. If I had to pick the real MVP of this board, I would probably have to say it's this guy.
The Ego Wampler, huh? Gets the MVP award.
Yeah, I can't really like. Oh, we're not all the way off here. I can't say what it does, but it just sounds better.
Shout out to Corey Wong for bringing that to our attention.
Yeah, you get that.
no bone, all cartilage kind of sound. Yeah, there you go.
Like with Appalachian Girl. Did this guy on there?
Man, this thing sounds good. Let's jam.
Yeah, what y'all want? You want to just let's just crank something?
I'm gonna go hit on the drums, man.
Okay. All right, let's just jam on something, man.